The rain-slicked streets of downtown Seattle gleamed under the sodium lamps like a battlefield after surrender, and Alex Harper, 17 and soaked to the bone, clutched his backpack like a shield as the cop's cruiser pulled up behind him. "Hey kid, you deaf or just stupid? Sidewalks for walking, not your personal parade route." The officer barked, his laugh sharp as broken glass when Alex turned, rainbow pin glinting on his collar. But then the squad car's lights caught the shadows stepping from the fog. A figure in crisp fatigues, stars on his shoulders, and the cop's smirk died as the man saluted Alex first, crisp and unwavering, murmuring, "At ease, son." Alex's heart hammered like a war drum in his chest, the kind of rhythm that drowned out the downpour and the cop's sputtering apologies. It had been 3 years since General Elias Kane had become the anchor in Alex's storm-tossed life. Ever since that rainy night in a Tacoma diner when a broad-shouldered veteran with salt and pepper hair had slid into the booth across from a trembling kid fresh out of the closet and fleeing a home that viewed love as a battlefield casualty. Elias wasn't blood, wasn't even legally family, but in the quiet hours when prejudice clawed at Alex's edges, the general's stories of foxholes and fallen comrades wove a tapestry of resilience that made Alex believe he could stand tall. Tonight, though, as the cop fumbled for his radio, Elias's presence wasn't just comfort, it was a reckoning. The officer, badge gleaming like false valor, straightened his collar and eyed Elias with the wariness of a man who'd just stepped on a landmine. "Sir, General, didn't realize. Kid was jaywalking, that's all. No harm." His voice cracked on the last word. The laugh from moments ago evaporated like mist. Alex felt a flicker of triumph, sharp and unfamiliar, but it twisted with the old ache, the one that whispered he was still the punchline, the gay teen, in quotes, always needing rescue. Elias's hand rested light on Alex's shoulder, a touch that said more than orders ever could. "You're not the problem here." As the cruiser peeled away into the night, taillights bleeding red into puddles, Alex wondered if this was the night the world finally bent, or if it was just another skirmish in the war for his own skin. Elias steered Alex toward the idling black SUV parked curbside, its plates whispering government secrets. "Rough patrol tonight?" the general asked, voice gravel rough from years of briefing rooms and brief silences. Alex slid into the passenger seat, the leather creaking like old bones, and let out a breath he hadn't known he was holding. "Just another Friday. Mom's new boyfriend thinks rainbows are a phase. Thought I'd crash at Jamie's, but..." He trailed off, the but heavy with the unsaid. Jamie, his best friend since middle school, the one who'd held his hand at the first Pride March and whispered, "We're in this trench together." Lately, though, Jamie's texts had grown sparse, laced with hesitations that felt like barbed wire. The drive back to Elias's off-base apartment in Lakewood blurred through sheets of rain, the wipers slashing like accusations. Elias filled the silence with easy talk of his latest posting, some classified op in the Pacific that involved more diplomacy than firepower, but Alex's mind snagged on the cop's laugh, replaying it like a looped reel. It wasn't the first time. High school hallways echoed with snickers, locker room whispers about Harper's fairy tales, and even teachers who looked away when the slurs flew. But Elias had taught him the counter. Chin up, eyes forward, salute the storm. "You're braver than half the grunts I commanded," Elias had said once. Over lukewarm coffee and cold pizza, his own eyes shadowed by memories of don't ask, don't tell scars that ran deeper than shrapnel. By the time they pulled into the complex, the storm had eased to a drizzle, streetlights haloing the evergreens like reluctant halos. The apartment was a sanctuary of muted greens and polished wood, walls lined with photos. Elias in desert camo, grinning beside soldiers whose names Alex had memorized like prayers. A faded snapshot of Elias's late husband, Tom, laughing in fatigues, arms slung around a younger Elias at their wedding in '95, back when such unions were whispers in the wind. Alex had pored over those images as a kid, tracing the lines of love that defied orders and odds. "He'd have liked you," Elias said now, flicking on the lamp that cast golden pools across the rug. "Called you a firecracker. Said you reminded him of me, stubborn as hell." Alex managed to smile, shedding his damp jacket like old skin. "Stubborn enough to think Jamie's ghosting me over nothing." He sank onto the couch, phone in hand, scrolling through unanswered messages that piled like unanswered salutes. Jamie Ruiz, with his easy grin and artist's hands that sketched dreams in charcoal, had been Alex's first everything. First crush unspoken. First ally in the chaos of coming out. First fight when Jamie's Catholic family drew lines in the sand. They'd patched it with late-night drives to Puget Sound, windows down, music blasting anthems of rebellion. But 2 weeks ago, after Alex's viral TikTok rant on queer visibility in schools, Jamie had gone quiet. Family stuff? One text read, "Give me space." Space felt like a chasm now. Elias poured 2 mugs of chamomile, his ritual for unwinding, a habit Tom had mocked fondly, and handed one over. Space is a tactic, not a surrender. Remember that op in Fallujah? Thought we'd lost Ramirez to radio silence. Turned out he was regrouping. His eyes, steel blue and steady, held Alex's. "You've got a battle plan?" Alex shook his head, steam curling like unspoken fears. The general sat beside him, the couch dipping under his weight. "Then we make one. Tomorrow, we hit the base parade. Full dress, you by my side. Show that cop in the world what a salute looks like." Alex's pulse quickened. The annual Joint Base Lewis McCord event was a spectacle of precision and pride, thousands under the flags. Being there, visible, felt like stepping into the line of fire. Sleep came fitful that night, dreams tangled with cop lights and Jamie's laugh turning to silence. Morning broke gray and insistent. Elias already in the kitchen, starching uniforms with the focus of a man who'd ironed out more than creases in his life. Alex dressed in his own armor, a button-down crisp as Elias had taught him, rainbow tie pin defiant, and they drove out as the sun clawed through clouds. The base sprawled like a living map, Humvees rumbling past hangars that hummed with purpose. Elias navigated checkpoints with nods and credentials, pulling into VIP parking where officers clustered like hawks. The parade ground thrummed with anticipation, brass bands warming up, rows of recruits snapping to attention under drill sergeants' glares. Alex spotted familiar faces, Lieutenant Maria Voss, Elias's XO, who winked and called him the general's secret weapon, young privates who'd snuck him extra MREs during visits, trading stories of their own hidden selves. But as they took their seats on the reviewing stand, Alex's gaze snagged on a cluster near the bleachers. Jamie, there with his dad, a retired sergeant whose medals clinked like judgments. Jamie's eyes met Alex's across the field, wide with something unreadable. Regret? Fear? He looked away quick, cheeks flushing under the bill of his cap. Elias noticed, his hand brushing Alex's knee, a subtle anchor. Steady. The national anthem swelled, flags snapping in the breeze, and then the general was on his feet, called to the podium for the keynote. His voice boomed across the assembly, words weaving duty and diversity, a nod to the repeal of outdated bans that had once silenced loves like his and Tom's. "We serve not in shadows, but in light," he said, pausing to scan the crowd, his gaze lingering on Alex. "Because every soldier, every soul under this flag, deserves to stand unbowed." Applause crashed like waves, but Alex barely heard it, his focus laser-locked on Jamie weaving through the throng post-speech, heading his way with hesitant steps. "Alex," Jamie said when he reached the stand, voice low, edged with gravel. "I saw the video. It's blowing up. Good, real good. But my dad, he found out about us. About how close we are. Said it's a distraction that the military doesn't need." He swallowed, fists clenched. I froze. Didn't know how to fight back without losing everything. The words landed like friendly fire, scorching and true. Alex's throat tightened, the parade's pomp fading to white noise. "So you chose space over us? After everything?" Jamie's eyes, dark and stormy, brimmed. "I chose time. To show him he's wrong. Come to the after-party tonight, my place. Let me prove it." A beat, then softer. "I miss you, man. More than the sketches, more than the sound." Alex nodded, the knot loosening just a fraction, as Elias returned, clapping Jamie on the back with a knowing grin. "Ruiz blood runs true. Welcome to the line." But the day wasn't done twisting. As the crowd dispersed, a familiar cruiser idled at the gate. The same cop from last night, hat in hand, approaching Elias with the gait of a man marching to his own court-martial. "General Kane, sir. About the incident. I overstepped. Deeply. My nephew's like your boy, out and proud. Didn't see it in time." Elias's face was stone, but his eyes held mercy's glint. "Apologize to him, not me. And remember, salutes aren't earned by stars. They're given by heart." The cop turned to Alex, extending a hand. "Sorry, son. Truly." Alex shook it, the grip firm, a bridge over the chasm. That night, the Ruiz house pulsed with post-parade energy, grills smoking, laughter cutting through the dusk, soldiers and spouses mingling under string lights. Jamie's dad, Sergeant Ruiz, manned the tongs with military precision, his mustache twitching as he eyed Alex across the yard. "Heard you gave my boy a run for his money in that video." He grunted when Alex approached for a burger. Stirred the pot. "Good." Surprise flickered. Approval, not accusation. Jamie sidled up, linking arms. "Told you. Time's the weapon." As stars pricked the sky, the group settled into stories. Voss recounting a deployment mishap involving a drag queen's wig and a sandstorm. Elias sharing Tom's quiet heroism, how he'd patched wounds under fire while humming show tunes to steady nerves. Alex felt the weight lift, laughter bubbling genuine, but then his phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Proud of you, kid. Keep fighting." The cop who learned. A small victory, but victories stacked like sandbags. Yet dawn brought the shadow. Elias's aide called at 0600, voice clipped. "Emergency briefing, DC bound, wheels up in hours." "Classified." He explained over rushed coffee, packing with the efficiency of farewells too familiar. Alex's stomach knotted. Separations were routine, but this felt laced with omens. 2 weeks max, Elias promised, pulling him into a hug that smelled of starch and steadfastness. "Hold the fort. And Ruiz, don't let him slack on those sketches." Jamie arrived as Elias's ride honked, eyes red-rimmed from his own goodbye to Dad's expectations. The days blurred into a fragile rhythm, school where whispers had softened to curious nods, thanks to the video's ripple, afternoons at Jamie's, charcoal flying as they mapped futures, art school for Jamie, advocacy for Alex, hands brushing in the lamplight, unspoken promises thickening the air. But fractures spiderwebbed, Jamie's dad, thawing but testing, dropping hints of tough love that stung, anonymous notes in Alex's locker, echoes of old hate. Fairy General's pet, one red, crumpled but cutting. One evening, as rain lashed the windows again, Jamie confessed over pizza. "Dad's pushing ROTC for me. Says it's the family way. But I want design, not drills." "You." The vulnerability cracked Alex open, their foreheads touching, breaths sinking like a shared pulse. "Then fight for it. With me." It was the closest they'd come to naming the undercurrent, the love that had simmered since handholds at protests, now boiling towards something irrevocable. Elias's check-ins were lifelines, grainy video calls from war rooms, his face lined but lit. Holding steady, he'd ask, and Alex would spin tales of Jamie's latest sketch, them as superheroes, capes fluttering over Seattle's skyline. But on day 10, the call glitched, Elias's voice fracturing. "Ops heating up. Stay sharp." The screen went dark, leaving Alex staring at his reflection, the boy who'd once hidden in hoodies now etched with resolve. The breaking point came midweek, parade echoes still fresh. Alex and Jamie, walking post-class through Volunteer Park, hands swinging close but not quite touching, froze as a knot of jocks from rival school blocked the path. "Look, it's the Pride Patrol," the leader sneered, phone out, filming. "Bet your dad can't save you here, twink." The slur hit like a gut punch, but Alex straightened, Elias's words armor, unbowed. Jamie stepped forward, voice steel, "Back off. Or explain to coach why you're benched." Fists clenched, but eyes darted, cowardice in the glare. They backed down, slinking away with mutters, but the damage lingered, adrenaline souring to shakes. Under the cherry blossoms, Jamie pulled Alex close, first real embrace, heartbeats thundering. "I love you," Jamie whispered, the words a detonation, soft and seismic. "Always have. Scared me shitless, but there it is." Alex's world tilted, tears hot. "Me too. God, me too." Kisses followed, tentative then fierce, Not lust but lifeline, sealing the pact. But Joy's afterglow shattered that night. Elias's number flashed, voicemail, tone grave. Alex, complication. Tom's old unit, legacy op. Can't say more. If, tell Jamie he's got your 6. The ellipsis hung, a void. Alex's call back bounced to satellite silence. Panic clawed. He texted Jamie, who arrived in minutes, face ashen. What do we do? All night they paced, piecing intel from news snippets. Unrest in the Pacific, whispers of high-stakes extraction. Dawn brought Voss to the door, uniform impeccable, eyes shadowed. He's in the thick of it. Hero stuff. Wanted you to know, he's proud. And if it goes south. She trailed, handing a sealed envelope. His words. Alex's hands trembled, opening it later, Jamie's arm steady. Son, if this finds you, know you saluted first. Love like ours doesn't end, it echoes. Fight pretty. Elias. The wait was war. Days of school and haze. Nights glued to briefings. Jamie's sketches now frantic maps of worry. Community rallied. Pride Center vigils. Soldiers' spouses sharing war widow wisdom. The cop even showed, awkward coffee in hand. Heard about the general. My nephew's praying. You need anything. Solidarity, unexpected, a web strengthening. Climax crested on day 14, alert buzzing. Extraction success, Elias en route. Seattle-Tacoma Airport thrummed with reunions. Alex and Jamie in the arrival's crush, breaths held. Then the gate opened, Elias striding through, bandaged but unbroken, duffel slung. He spotted them, saluted sharp, first to Alex, then Jamie, pulling them into a crush of hugs. Missed my firecrackers. Debriefs followed, scars aired. The op, a nod to Tom's final mission, ghosts laid. Elias watched Alex and Jamie, hands linked open now, and grinned. About time. Prejudices cracked further. Ruiz Sr. at dinner, toasting family, all kinds. The cop, volunteering at pride events, badge a bridge. Months wove forward, twists lingering. Jamie's ROTC dodge, art scholarship won on sketches of their saga. Alex's advocacy blooming, speeches echoing Elias's. Love deepened, not in beds but battles, protests, quiet nights tracing scars. One twilight, under the same park trees, Elias joined them. Ring from Tom's hand passed to Alex. For when you're ready. Echoes. The general's salute had started it, but their hearts kept the rhythm. Unbowed, unbroken, a legion of 2 + 1. In the afterglow of that airport embrace, Alex felt the world shift not with a bang, but a quiet click, like a rifle's safety disengaged, ready for whatever came next. Elias's return wasn't just a homecoming. It was a catalyst, stirring the sediments of their lives into new currents. Seattle's autumn painted the city in golds and crimsons, mirroring the tentative bloom in Alex and Jamie's relationship. They navigated it like green recruits. Handholds in crowded cafes that drew stares but held firm, stolen moments in art studios where Jamie's pencils captured Alex's profile with a tenderness that made his cheeks burn. Elias, ever the strategist, gave them space but not slack. Love's a deployment, he said one crisp morning over flapjacks, his knife slicing butter with precision. Requires recon, resupply, and no friendly fire. His eyes twinkled, but the advice landed deep. Reminders to communicate, to check bearings when doubts crept in. For Alex, doubts were old comrades. The fear that his queerness made him fragile, a target rather than a tactician. Jamie, too, wrestled shadows, his dad's thawing acceptance laced with conditions, unspoken ultimatums about keeping it discreet at family gatherings. The first real test came unannounced, a grenade lobbed from the past. Alex's mother, Laura, called out of the blue, voice honeyed with regret after months of radio silence. Heard about the general's heroics. Sounds like you've got a real family now. The words twisted, implying Elias's role was charity, not choice. She invited him for coffee, just to talk, at their old haunt in Capitol Hill, the one with the mismatched mugs and memories of slammed doors. Alex went, Jamie waiting in the car like backup, engine idling. Laura looked smaller than he remembered, lines etched deeper by her boyfriend's barbs and her own unhealed wounds. I'm proud, Alex. Really. But this gay thing, It's hard on me. The thing stung, reducing his truth to a footnote. He laid it out then, voice steady as Elias's salutes. The pain of her silence during school taunts, the way her new man's jokes had driven the final wedge. It's not a phase, Mom. It's me. And I've built something stronger without you fighting for it. Tears tracked her cheeks, but she reached across the table, hand tentative. Teach me how. Forgiveness didn't rush in. It marched slow, patrols testing trust. Jamie met her next, sketches in hand. Portraits of Alex that captured not just features, but fire. Laura's eyes softened, and slowly, visits multiplied. Awkward dinners where Elias mediated like a UN envoy, steering from politics to pie. But beneath the mending, tension simmered. Jamie's dad, Miguel, hosted a veterans barbecue, air thick with cigar smoke and war yarns. Good to see you boys, he rumbled, clapping Alex's back hard enough to jolt. But later, cornering Jamie. Don't let it distract from duty. Army needs men like us, solid. Jamie vented that night in Alex's room. Elias's spare, now half-claimed with posters of queer icons and dog-eared novels. Solid? Like I'm not? Feels like he's saluting a ghost. Alex pulled him down beside him, their talk weaving through the dark. Dreams of joint applications to Cornish College. Visions of galleries showcasing stories of love under fire. Sleep claimed them tangled, breaths even, a front line held. Winter crept in on Seattle's signature gloom, holidays looming like minefields. Elias hosted. Turkey carved with stories of Tom's secret recipes, table groaning undersides from Voss and the Ruiz clan. Laughter flowed freer, but a call from DC pulled Elias aside. Promotion whispers, postings that could scatter them like shrapnel. Not leaving you high and dry, he assured Alex later, by the fire that crackled like confessions. But command calls. The boys' first real date crystallized the stakes. A ferry ride to Bainbridge, salt wind whipping as they leaned on rails, city lights winking farewell. Promise me, Jamie said, mittened hand in Alex's. Whatever posts come, we deploy together. Alex nodded, sealing it with a kiss that tasted of brine and forever. But back on shore, reality ambushed. A school assembly on traditional values. Guest speaker a politician whose rhetoric veiled barbs as concern. Alex stood, mic in hand unasked, voice ringing. Tradition evolves. Mine includes love that salutes every flag. The fallout was swift. Praise from allies. Backlash and emails that flooded like artillery. One stood out. From the cop, now Sergeant Harlan, saw the clip. Stood up like a soldier. Coffee sometime. It was olive branch, and Alex took it. Meeting at a diner where Harlan shared his nephew's coming out saga. Regrets aired like after-action reports. Thought I knew better. Spring thawed more than ice. Jamie's portfolio earned acclaim. A showcase at the Fry Art Museum drawing crowds, including Miguel, who lingered by a piece titled Salute. Charcoal strokes of Alex and Elias under stars. Captured it right, he admitted gruffly. Heart over orders. Pride Month dawned electric, parades pulsing with color. Alex and Jamie marched arm in arm, Elias on a float tossing beads like medals, Voss leading chants. But midway, a counter-protester shoved through, sign hoisted high. God hates fags. The crowd surged, but Elias's bellow cut through, stand down, and security swarmed. In the chaos, Jamie took an elbow to the ribs, crumpling. Alex's world narrowed to that fall, scooping him up, Elias clearing path to medics. Bruised but unbroken, Jamie grinned through ice packs. Worthy scar. The incident fueled Alex's fire. He channeled it into a podcast series, Echoes of Salute, interviewing vets on love's battlefields. Listeners poured in, stories mirroring theirs, overcomings, losses, triumphs. Elias's posting came then. Pentagon liaison, DC desk-bound but demanding uproot. Transfer credits? He proposed, eyes on the boys. Jamie's art dreams anchored him west, but compromise brewed. Summers east, holidays split, tech bridging gaps. Goodbyes at Seattle-Tacoma were tear-streaked but tempered. Elias's hug fierce. Whisper. You've got the stars now. Distance tested, as wars do. Late-night calls glitched with longing. Jamie's sketches mailed in envelopes fat with I miss yous. Alex dove deeper into advocacy, interning at Lambda Legal, Cases of discrimination, his new foxholes. A twist hit summer's end. Laura's boyfriend out. Her apology a full surrender. I'm enlisting in your corner. Family reknit, fragile but fortified. Fall brought Jamie's freshman orientation, Alex tagging along. Dorm room christened with their first overnight. Talks till dawn, futures sketched on napkins. But a letter arrived. Anonymous, postmarked local, words venom. Your general's a fraud. Check the archives. Doubts serpent coiled. Alex dug. Elias's past unearthing don't ask ghosts. A dishonorable whisper from 92. Expunged but scarred. Confrontation brewed over Thanksgiving video. Why hide it? Elias's face creased. Not hiding, protecting. Tom and I fought quiet so you could loud. Truth settled like dust. Bonds reforged. Winter holidays in D.C. dazzled. Capitol snow, monuments aglow. Elias's apartment a nest of warmth. Jamie met the extended circle. Tom's sister, fierce Annie with tails. Pentagon peers who toasted the next generation. Climax shadowed New Year's. Jamie's call, voice fractured. Dad's sick. Cancer. The world tilted again, flights booked frantic. Miguel's bedside vigil was stoic, but eyes betrayed fear. Regrets, he rasped to the boys. Wasted words. They rallied. Chemo drives, art therapy sketches Jamie led. Elias flew west, hand on Miguel's shoulder. We outlast this. Spring's renewal mirrored Miguel's remission, scans clear as salutes. Pride that year was triumph. Miguel marching, sign reading Dad to Elias. Alex's podcast peaked, book deal inked, salutes and shadows. Love's arc bent toward permanence. Proposals whispered under cherry blossoms, rings pocketed for later. Years layered like campaigns won. Elias retired. Memoir penned with Alex's edits. Bestsellers saluting hidden heroes. Jamie's gallery openings featured their saga in oils, crowds weeping. Alex, advocate risen, testified in D.C., Jamie at his side. One eve, by Puget Sound, Elias officiated. Vows exchanged, Tom's ring binding. Echoes, Elias intoned. Made eternal. The cop, Harlan, now chief, toasted at the reception. From laugh to lesson. Laughter rippled, full circle. In quiet after, Alex traced Jamie's hand. We saluted first. And in that, the war won, not with arms, but hearts unbowed. Yet peace, like ceasefires, proved tentative. Post-wedding glow faded into the grind of new fronts. Jamie's rising career pulling him toward New York galleries. Alex's national tours clashing with D.C. commitments. Elias, now consultant, mediated with his trademark calm, but cracks showed. Arguments over video lags. Silence is heavy as unresolved ops. We're drifting. Alex confessed one night to Elias over bourbon in the old Lakewood apartment, now sublet, but soul-deep home. The general swirled his glass, ice clinking like Morse. Drift's illusion. Tides turn. The real ambush struck autumnal. A specter from Jamie's past. Ex-roommate from college. Derek, resurfacing with emails laced nostalgia and need. Miss our talks. One read, attachments of old sketches. Intimate, pre-Alex. Jamie dismissed it, but Alex's radar pinged, trust's fault line quivering. Just history, Jamie assured. But the seed sprouted doubts, watered by tour exhaustion. A fight erupted in a Manhattan hotel, words flying like flares. Am I your now, or your safe? Jamie's face crumpled. Always now. Fear's the enemy. Reconciliation came raw, in Central Park's leaf-strewn paths, apologies layered like bandages. No more ghosts, they vowed, therapy sessions booked, couples counseling a new drill. Elias joined a call, sharing his and Tom's post-repeal rose. Love's not linear. It's foxhole faith. Strengthened, they navigated. Bi-coastal weekends, collaborative projects. Jamie's illustrations for Alex's book sequel. But broader storms brewed. National tides shifted, a new administration's policies chipping at protections. Bathroom bills, adoption curbs, echoes of old bans. Alex's activism intensified, speeches firebrand, drawing threats that shadowed joy. One rally in Atlanta, counter-protesters swelled, bottles arcing like mortars. Security, Elias's old contacts, hustled him out, but a shard grazed his arm, blood blooming. Jamie, Watching livestream, flew south, arriving to stitches and steely resolve. No more solo ops. The injury sidelined Alex briefly, forcing reflection. In recovery's haze, letters poured. From the cop's nephew, now out advocate. From Laura, her own queer ally group founded. Miguel, cancer-free, pin 1-2. You boys taught me fights in family. Elias visited, bringing Tom's journal, yellowed pages of love amid orders, a bomb. He wrote this after my first scare. We endure. Renewed, Alex pivoted, grassroots over grandstands, community builds. Jamie's exhibit, frontlines of feeling, toured, proceeds to shelters. Their home, a brownstone in Brooklyn, compromise bought, filled with canvases and case files, nights of takeout and tangos. But twist turned. Elias's health faltered, a heart murmur from stress-scarred years. Routine. He waved off, but tests revealed angioplasty looming. The procedure was textbook, but vigil hours etched deep. Jamie sketched Elias sleeping, Alex reading aloud from their wedding vows. Post-op, in the ward's sterile light, Elias gripped their hands. My legacies. Don't salute my absence, live it loud. Recovery was grueling, but family circled. Voss flying in, Miguel cooking Puerto Rican feasts. Bonds, tested, tempered. Spring brought blooms and breakthroughs. Alex's bill co-sponsored, protections bolstered. Jamie's solo show in Paris, Alex tagging for anniversary. Eiffel shadows, they renewed vows impromptu, city lights confetti. Back stateside, Elias's retirement party swelled. Brass and buddies, toasts toasting, the general who led with heart. Yet undercurrents swirled. An old rival from Elias's command, bitter colonel, leaked redacted files, smears tying Elias to lifestyle scandals from the 90s. Media frenzy ignited, headlines twisting heroes to headlines. Alex fielded calls furious, Jamie's agent pulling exhibits for optics. Not again, Alex growled, but Elias, cane in hand, faced press. Those files? Badges of battles won. Love won them. The scandal crested, then crashed, supporters rallying, fact-checks firing. Harlan, now commissioner, issued statement. Vets like Kane built us. We salute. Fallout forged fiercer advocacy. Alex's TED Talk, salutes in the shadows, viral vortex. Jamie channeled rage to murals, public art decrying discrimination, cities commissioning. Summer's heat wave mirrored inner fires. Laura visited, her partner now a trans woman, stories shared over sangria. Full circle, she laughed. Miguel proposed joint memoir with Elias, fathers in the fight. Writing sessions bonded, generations bridging. Falls turning tested anew. Jamie's offer, gallery directorship in L.A., 3-year stint. Temporary, he pled, but Alex's gut nodded. We've mastered distance. But roots. Debates danced weeks, Elias mediating. Roots move. Like us. Decision, trial run, Alex commuting, trust tendrils stretching. Departure airport echoed old pains, but hugs held hope. Calls became rituals, Jamie's videos of sunsets syncing with Alex's snow-dusted DC walks. Elias's check-ins grounded, love's logistics. Holidays merged clans in Seattle, tree trimmed with Tom's ornaments, Miguel's tree tamales steaming. Winter whispered warnings. Elias's murmur recurred, pacemaker paced. Surgery second, but smoother, boys at bedside trading jokes. You're stuck with us, Jamie quipped. Recovery retreat to the sound, cabin rented, stories spun by firesides. Elias's war yarns, Jamie's art anecdotes, Alex's case wins. Climax brewed spring. National crisis, SCOTUS challenge to marriage equality's fringes. Alex led amicus briefs, Jamie illustrated filings, Elias testified remotely. Gavel fell favorable, cheers erupted in war rooms. Celebration in D.C., full circle, Harlan toasting, Voss dancing. But personal pivot, Jamie's return early, L.A. lessons learned. West Coast called, but home's you. Brownstone Fuller, future plotted, adoption dreams. Advocacy, firm co-founded. Elias, healthier, mentored young vets, Pride Center namesake. Years cascaded. Kids adopted, twins with curls and charcoal smudges. Elias doted, stories their lullabies. Miguel's book bestseller, Laura's group national. Harlan's retirement parade, Alex guest speaker, from laugh to legacy. One dusk, by the sound, family gathered, Elias raising glass, to salutes that started it all. Echoes lingered, love's legion enduring. The twins' arrival, Lila and Mateo, 5 pounds of fury and wonder each, rewrote the battle map overnight. Sleep became strategic asset. Elias the night watched general bunking in for weeks, rocking colicky charges with hums of old marches. Jamie's hands, once wielding brushes, now cradled bottles, his sketches evolving to crayon collaborations on fridge art. Alex juggled depositions and diapers, heart swelling at Lila's gummy salute, Mateo's giggles echoing Tom's laugh in faded photos. Parenting's front was fierce, school choices laced with curriculum wars, playdates navigating two dads' queries from tots and tutors alike. One kindergarten open house, a parent's offhand lifestyle choice, comment drew Alex's steel. Our choice is love. Theirs will be the same. Jamie backed silent, hand squeeze alliance. Backlash brewed. Whispers, withdrawal, but allies amplified. Voss, anti-in-arms, hosting queer family picnics. Harlan's department sponsoring sensitivity trainings. Elias's mentorship bloomed into legacy. Came Cadets, a program for LGBTQ+ youth eyeing service. Alex co-facilitating sessions where salutes met stories. A cadet, shy recruit named Riley, reminded Alex of his younger self, wide-eyed, wounded. "Sir, how do you stand when they stare?" Riley asked. Alex knelt. "You don't stand alone. We form up." Riley's breakthrough, first Pride March, arm linked with Jamie's, mirrored Alex's arc, cycles closing. But shadows lengthened. National gains eroded under populist gusts, funding cuts slashing shelters, bills burrowing like IEDs. Alex's firm, Echo Legal, stretched thin, pro bono piles towering. Jamie's murals, once celebrated, vandalized in red states, slurs slashed over faces. Fight or fold. Jamie vented one storm-lashed night, paint chips in his hair. Alex pulled him close, twins asleep upstairs. Fight smarter. With art and argument. Collaboration crested, visible lines, exhibit brief hybrid touring battleground states. Jamie's visuals amplifying Alex's cases. Crowds swelled, conversion sparked, policies pivoted. Elias keynote openers, Kane traded for podium poise. Art and law, our new artillery. Personal minefields mined too. Lila's first crush, on a classmate's big brother, unearthed old aches, how to guide without projecting. Love's colorblind, Alex coached, but doubts dogged. Had their visibility scarred or shielded? Jamie's therapy unearthed his own. Adoption agencies' hesitations, 2 men flagged. We proved them wrong, he affirmed, but scars suppurated. Twist turned familial. Miguel's recurrence, stage creeping. Chemo cocktails clashed with family feasts, but Miguel's grit galvanized. Beat it once, dance on it twice, he joked, Jamie's portraits capturing his fire. Lila drew Abuelo strong, crayon cape flowing. Remission rallied, but fragility framed priorities. More soundside retreats, stories stockpiled. Elias's 80th loomed landmark. Party plan grand. Vets Hall, band playing 90s anthems Tom loved. But pre-fest, a fall, hip fractured on icy stoop. Hospital haze, Alex and Jamie tag-teaming vigils. Twins FaceTiming, get well, pop pop. Surgery succeeded, rehab rigorous, but Elias emerged edgier. Mortality's briefing, he called it. Write the will? Nah. Live the addendum. Recovery coincided with twin school play, Mateo as tree, Lila as star. Crowd cheering as saplings saluted. Post-curtain, Elias whispered to Alex, your roots run deep. Gratitude gushed, but grief's preview pricked. Summer scorched with opportunity. Fellowship in Berlin, queer history archive dive. Jamie opted in, kids with Laura's crew. City of Walls Fallen mirrored their mended ones. Tours of checkpoints, talks on division's dregs. One night, under Brandenburg glow, Jamie sketched Alex amid ruins. We rebuild. Romance rekindled, passion's pulse rediscovered in cobblestone cafes. Return stateside, crisis crashed, Supreme Court leak, ruling tilting against trans rights. Alex mobilized, amicus avalanche, but told. heavy lids, hands shaking on briefs. Jamie noticed, intervening with Sabbath Sundays. No screens, sound walks, twins tag games. Elias joined, cane clicking rhythm, rest reconnaissance. Fall foliage framed fragility's face. Miguel's full remission, but Elias's murmur murmured louder. Cardiologist cautioned, pace yourself. Defiance danced, Elias jetting to cadet graduations, saluting Riley's commission. Echoes amplified, he beamed. Holidays harmonized. Full table, Voss's vegan turkey twist, Harlan's badge-polished tails. New Year's toast. To fronts unflanked. But January jawed, flu felling Elias, pneumonia pouncing. ICU beeps, boys bedside, Jamie sketching monitors like maps to mend. Fight, old man, Alex urged. Rally came slow, discharge to home hospice light. Nurses nodding, family nesting. Spring's promise pierced, Lila's science fair win, volcano erupting rainbow lava. Mateo's soccer goal, dad cheers deafening. Elias watched from porch, oxygen light. My parade. Alex's case landmark, win for foster queer kids, headlined hopes. Climax crested May. Elias's decline dipped, breaths labored. Gathering grew, clans converging, Miguel toasting brother in arms. Final days, bedside vigils, stories swirling. Tom's wedding waltz, Alex's first salute. Proud, Elias rasped, eyes on Jamie and kids. All of you. Passing peaceful, Dawn's light saluting. Funeral full honors, flags folded, volleys volleyed, Alex's eulogy echoing. He taught us to stand first. Graveside, Jamie's hand steady, twins scattering petals. Grief's garrison gripped, but growth germinated. Memorial Fund flowered cadet programs. Alex's Book 3, Legacies Unbowed, dedicated duel. Jamie's mural, Elias's profile amid stars, city commissioned. Years yielded. Twins teen tumbling, crushes confessed, allies ardent. Alex and Jamie, silver-threaded, mintered mates, young couples charting charts. One pride, rainbow route, ghosts grinned, Elias's salute in every step. Legacy lived, love's line unbroken. Elias's absence carved a canyon, winds whistling through daily drills once anchored by his gravel council. Mornings now started with coffee for three, Alex, Jamie, and the twins' chaos, sans the general's flapjack flips and foxhole quips. The Lakewood apartment, shuttered but sacred, became annual pilgrimage. Memorial Day marches, stories retold till Lila and Mateo, now lanky tweens, could recite Tom's tunes by heart. Pop Pop's echo, Mateo dubbed it, his soccer cleats kicking up dust on the porch where Elias once paced plans. Grief morphed mission. Alex channeled it to Kane Echoes, nonprofit expanding, scholarships for queer vets kids, art therapy for trauma troops. Jamie helmed creative core, murals multiplying, one in D.C., Elias saluting diverse ranks, unveiled with Harlan's ribbon cut, his voice thick. He changed my patrol. Now mine changes more. Cadets flocked, Riley rising ranks, mentoring mini-MES who saluted Alex like lineage. Family fortified. Miguel, survivor scarred but sage, stepped grandfather grand. Sleepovers with warboard games, Puerto Rican proverbs peppered. Laura's household, rainbow-riddled, hosted holidays hybrid. Thanksgiving turkeys twin to tamales, her partner's pronouns practiced perfect by twins. Voss, Aunt V, vacation vicarious. Grand Canyon treks, twins telescopes tracing stars Elias named. But parenting's perimeter pressed. Lila's middle school maelstrom, first period politics, crushes complicating closets, drew Alex's advocate arsenal. Your truth, your tempo. Yet hypocrisy haunted. When she questioned their no secrets packed post a fibbed field trip, Alex's mirror mocked. Jamie mediated, family therapy threading tighter, we model mess-ups mended. Twist tangled teen turf, Mateo's buddy bash, one boy's dad barring the gay house. Mateo marched home mad, jersey muddied. Why hate us? Jamie's jaw set, Alex's alliance activated, school's superintendent schooled, diversity day decreed. But scar stayed, Mateo sketching shield solo till Jamie coaxed. Armor shared weighs less. National noise nosed in. Midterm NG writes, rollback ripples. Alex testified tireless, circuits suing states. One Ohio hearing, hecklers hurled. But a juror, cop's kin, swayed sway. Reminds me of my uncle's fight. Wind whispered wider waves. Jamie's career crested, MoMA mount, salute series selling swift. But spotlight scorched, critic claiming queer tokenism, sales slumping. Art or agenda? Jamie doubted. Alex affirmed, both. Your blade. Exhibit encored, earnings earmarked echoes. Summer scorched secrets, Lila's laptop leak, chat logs loving a girl, panic pinging. Normal nerves, Jamie soothed. But her what if they judge, jabbed Alex's youth. Coming out cake baked, community cocooned, pride picnic, Voss's violin voluntary. Lila bloomed bold, first girlfriend giggly. False frenzy, Mateo's bar mitzvah nod. Adopted Jewish roots via Laura's line, blended faiths festive. Rabbi's remarks resonated. Torah teaches tints open. Elias's star kippa donned, echoes eternal. Winter warned. Miguel's checkup chill, spots suspicious. Scans screamed stage 4, spread swift. Round 3, he grinned grim, but eyes echoed Elias's endgame. Boys braced, twins tendered talks, Abuelo's warrior. Chemo camped family, Lila's letters lifting, Mateo's playlists pumping. Climax crashed Christmas. Miguel's merry muted, hospice hinted. Gathering grand, clans caroling, his bedside concert. Mi vida, he murmured to Jamie, hand hovering heart. You painted pride. Passing pre-dawn, peaceful, Puerto flags folded. Funeral fused funerals past, Volley's veteran, salsa swaying graveside. Eulogy Jamie's, voice velvet. Dad danced through darkness. Legacy lingered, foundation fused with echoes, aiding immigrant vets. Grief's grip gentled gradual. Spring spurred, Lila's league, girls soccer star. Mateo's music, guitar grooving queer anthems. Alex's amicus army amassed, SCOTUS second salvation. But betrayal bit. Firm colleague, closeted, outed client accidental, scandal scorched. Alex ousted office, optics ogling. Betrayal's bullet, he brooded. Jamie jury-rigged, rebuild rogue. Solo shingle hung, Harper echo law, clients clamoring. Summer's sojourn, Europe echo, kids in tow, Paris prides, Berlin books. Lila loved Louvre, Mateo mused museums. One Rhine riverbank, Jamie proposed sequel. Kids Chronicles? Alex eyed, co-authoring commencing. Fall framed fractures, Mateo's first love, boy bold but bullied. School standoff, Alex arbitrating, suspension swapped sensitivity. Victory veiled vulnerability, Mateo's, am I marked, mirrored Alex's mirror. Winter wove warmth. Voss's vow renewal, boys best men, twins ring bearers. Toasts toasted time. Fronts flanked, families forged. Climax curled cruel. National nightmare, shooting at pride, dozens down. Alex activated, legal Leviathan, Jamie murals memorial. Fund flooded, healing hastened. Their vigil virtual, hearts heavy. But Bloom burst. Lila scholarship, queer youth lead, Mateo's mixtape, viral vibe. Alex's book 4, bestseller bomb. Years yawed. Teens to 20s, graduations graced Elias's ghost. Lila lawbound, Mateo's media major. Grandkids glimpsed, partners paraded, pride perpetual. One sound sunset, Alex and Jamie, gray graced, raised glasses, to echoes unending. Salute silent, but sure. Adulthood's advance accelerated, twins turbocharging trajectories that tugged tender ties. Lila's law school leaped to Harvard, dorm distant but calls constant, dissecting cases with Alex's acumen. Her girlfriend's chats group giggled. Mateo's NYU nest, film focus framing stories untold. Queer docs debuting festivals, Jamie's lens lending light. Empty nest echoed, brownstone bearer, but boys breathed bilateral. Date nights rediscovered, travels tandem, Tokyo temples, tango and tango. Elias and Miguel's merged foundations flourished, legacy lines, grants greening global groves. Riley, now major, ran regional, cadets crediting the salutes that stuck. Voss's volume, memoir exo to echoes, Alex forward, bestseller boosting. But backlash brewing. Alt-right agitators, online orcs outing allies. One troll trove targeted Mateo's movie, doxing deep. Delete or die, threats dripped. Alex armored legal, injunctions inked, but fear fermented family frets. Jamie's rebuttal real, animation animating resilience, went wide, winds whispered. Lila's litigation landed landmark, trans teen foster win, precedents paving. But Barb's bit, prof's agenda over academics aside, clerkship clamped. Glass closet, she coined, Alex advising, shatter strategic. Pivot to boutique firm, blooming bold. Mateo's milestone, Oscar nod, doc, frontline frames, profiling don't ask vets. Red carpet radiant, Jamie's tux tailored, Alex's arm anchor. Speech soared. To Pop Pop and Abuelo, your frames framed mine. Tears telecast, tides turned. Personal precipice, Alex's ache, chest clutching mid-meeting. EKG echoed Elias, stent staved. Irony's infantry, he joked post-procedure, Jamie's vigil velvet. Recovery reframed, sabbatical scripted, co-writing cocoon. Book birthed generations in gear. Chronicles cascading, twins' tales twined with founders. Launch lavish, Laura lauding. Your words, our world. Summer scorched scandals, political purge, rights receding. Alex advised campaigns, circuits ceaseless. One rally route, pepper spray stung, Lila live streaming lawsuit live. Victory veiled, but vitriol vexed. Falls folly, Jamie's joint, knee knife from old art agility. King clicked couple, symmetry smiling. Rehab rallied, Voss visiting, badges of battles. Winter warmed weddings. Lila's, garden gala, Alex aisle walking, tears trailing. Vows vowed, like dads defiant. Mateo's later, loft lit, films flickering foreplay to forever. Climax clanged, global groan, pandemic pouncing. Quarantines quartered, foundations funding frontline. Alex virtual vigils, Jamie murals masked, community canvases. Twins teleported support, grandkids germinating, Lila's little, Mateo's maybe. Isolation intensified intimacies. Brownstone books, board games, bedsheets billowing. Endurance edition, Jamie quipped. Thaw trended. Vaccines victorious, visits ventured. Grandbaby first, Lila's Lena, eyes Elias echoing. Cuddles cascaded, coups conducting. But breach broke, cyber sift, foundation files filched, donor digs, dirty dossiers. Leaker linked Lila's firm, conflict contrived. Probe protracted, Alex absolved, but trust torched. War's weeds, Elias would have wisecracked. Rebuild resolute, cybersecurity shored, transparency touted. Allies amassed, Harlan's air helming help. Spring spurred, Mateo's miniseries, Salute Saga, streaming smash, Emmys earned. Lila's Leap, Judgeship Jr. Summer's Symphony, Family Flotilla, sound sailed, stories sea shantied. Grandkids gurgled, ghosts grinned. Fall framed 40s. Alex and Jamie, silver salutes, vow renewal quiet. Backyard, branches blooming. Still first, Alex affirmed. Winter whispered wisdom. Voss's Volume 2, Twins' Tales. Miguel's marker, annual Eras Congandals. Climax crested calm, national nod, equality enshrined eternal. Alex keynote capital, Jamie's projection pulsing pride. Years yellowed gentle, 60s side, steps slower, story staple. Grandkids grew, greats germinating. One eve, porch parallel to Elias's, Alex and Jamie, hands honed. Echoes? Symphonies now. Salute sunset, love's legion lasting. Decades danced dimmer, but depth deepened. Brownstone bastion of bookshelves bowed under biographies. Elias's editions edged, Miguel's melodies mixtaped for mates. Alex's octogenarian orbit, advocacy archived, emeritus echoing in halls named honor. Harper Wing, Lambda's love-lit library. Jamie's joints jotted canvases, but classes crowded. Master mentoring millennials, murals mapped mints. Twins' trees towered. Lila's bench, supreme whispers. Mateo's media mogul, docs decoding decades. Grandkids galumphed, Lena law-lit, others orbiting orbit's own. But body's betrayal beckoned, Jamie's brush faltered, Parkinson's prowling. Painter palsy, he pondered. Alex anchored. Both. Your line leads. Therapy trembled, but triumphs trickled. Tremor tools, adaptive easels. Alex's atrial fluttered, pacemaker pacing pair. Twin tech, they toasted, Voss visiting, syncopated salutes. Pandemic's pall persisted pockets, but pulses prevailed. Vaccines vanquished, visits vivacious. Family flotillas frequent, sound suppers sacred. Twist twinged, historical heist, Elias's expunged file exhumed. Smear revival by revisionists. Media maelstrom, Alex authoring op-eds. Ghosts gassed, but graves guard truth. Rally rallied, Harlan's hologram homage. Legacy laughs last. Spring's spark, great grand glimpse, Lena's legacy. Cribside, Alex and Jamie, fingers frail but firm. Cycle salutes. Summer scorch scorches, wildfires wailing west, foundations funding flights. Jamie's final mural, enduring ember, embers eternal. Falls fade, Lila's laurel, Chief Justice nod. Mateo's monument, Walk of Fame star. Winter waned, Voss's voyage last, bedside ballad. Exo eternal, she exhaled. Climax curled compassionate, joint journal, joint journey. Pinned palsied but profound. Publisher praised, hearts handwritten. But breath shortened, hospice hummed home. Gathering grand, clans complete, candles casting constellations. Twins tendered tales, grandkids guitar strummed. Jamie first, dawn departing, hand Alex's. Painted plenty. Alex ached after, weeks withered. Passing peaceful, plot beside Elias, salutes synced. Funeral fused, eulogies echoing. Lila's legal lyric, Mateo's montage. Alex alone ached, but allies abounded. Brownstone buzzing briefings, bedside books. One twilight, sound staring, phantom phalange felt. Jamie's jest, echo love. Months melted, milestone marking. 60th since that rainy salute. Pilgrimage parade, cadets current, Riley retired, Harlan's honor guard. Alex addressed, voice veined but vibrant. From one laugh to legions loving. He started it. We sustain. Legacy luxuriated. Foundations flourishing. Films forever. Laws luminous. Great-greats gawked galleries. Ghosts guiding. Final fall. Alex authored addendum. Salutes shadow. Sunset stories. Pen paused. Porch piece. Breath eased. Eyes east. Sun saluting. At ease, he murmured. Mates massing misty. Echo endures, unbowed, unbroken, love's longest line.